Um, I want to see if that's going up. This is Margaret in Windsor, and that's my real name. I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. I'm going to try to conclude on this because as it stands, I probably don't have a doctor, and I'd like to know what I did wrong. I've been in Roanoke for all these years, since '86, and I've put up here about my kidnapping and all that before. Wrote a book, MD, A License to Kill back then. I was almost killed again, April Fool Day of '80. Letter from the FBI, dated June the 23rd of '79. Ongoing investigation, national security involved. So I guess this ongoing investigation goes on putting hurdles in my way, torturing me, and me going to social media and trying to put it up. And I'm not blaming the feds in this. The Brits helped me. They got some of the feds to help. The Germans certainly did their best to help and did. But I'm just going to get to this because God help. It'd have to be him because nobody else has got it taken it into court. Nobody's been charged except for me for living in the national forest here, so I could have a home. See, you leave all of the what's being done to me out, and you just tell that, and you've got. I'm going to give this little clue because it's not funny about Robin Williams. I was writing about mind control murders. Larry Flint was shot while I was doing the book in Marietta. He was shot in Lawrenceville by a program shooter, and later I was flown out to his home in a campaign. I'd never met him, but the murders were done in patterns, so I'm not going to go any further. He helped me, and then he furnished me a car for a year, but he went through hell. He was shot and paralyzed, and there's those that say that NBC back then told me that a cameraman, I think's who he was, the real Larry Flint was dead, that he was shot with a magnum, and his insides are on the sidewalk there. So anyway, when I saw him in '83, and I had known he was shot by a program shooter, I had never met him, so I was flown out there in the campaign to replace U.S. Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, which I had written about in the book, this unpublished. My God, they almost killed me. It's been a... So I really just want to go to this today, and it's not going to do me any good. I put all this up, and I said something about Robin Williams. Robin Williams did not commit suicide. There's more to all this if you ever hear it. It was murder by mind control. It's like the Virginia Tech here, the 32 that was shot and killed students, and the Korean student that was shot them. He was programmed to shoot them. He turned around and was programmed to shoot himself. So his death was by suicide also, just like Robin Williams. That's all I'm going to say on here, except there's a sparrow involved in all this, and getting their licks in and their pain and suffering, and people enjoy some of this. There's some nice people. I put it up here so that maybe along the way I could tell what happened and somebody would help do something about it. All the attorneys that I can't get, and then I'm just called a liar and all kinds of names. God help if all the truth were up there. I'm just going to put what's happened lately. And there's more to this too. I'm not going to tell. Oh no. In a roundabout way I have on here. Anyway, my primary care, I'm not going to put her name up here, but I've been going to her since 2009. And there's something about she doesn't like to give antibiotics. I have never taken a pill unless it was prescribed, except once when I was up on the trail and it was freezing, and Jennifer and Scott, the couple I met, and they picked me up and brought me down to their home, and she had something for infection. And I did take one or two of those pills. I used to work for doctors, but I still don't, I don't take other people's pills or anything. I just don't, and I don't drink. I don't see alcoholic beverages. I don't see the point. Okay, now then. So she has seldom given me an antibiotic. I had I still have it, bacterial ear infection over a year ago and a heart arrhythmia that she didn't diagnose. Somebody else did while I was going to her. In fact, she's never told me about it. Two other people have. So now then I went in with my ear bleeding, ruptured eardrum. So that time she did, because she couldn't get an appointment with me for the ear doctor to see me for 10 days. So she did give me antibiotics then. So now then, I'm living, I'll go ahead and say it, where I have been, and I put all this up where I've been around mold and mildew. And I have an autoimmune disorder and allergic to chemicals. Toxic. It makes my immune system attack itself. And mass inflammation, it can affect your kidneys, your lungs, my heart, which it did. Your hearing. Wow. Anyway, now then, here is just an example of what I went into the urgent care, because I couldn't get her for one thing. I have to schedule a ride. And so I went to urgent care on a Saturday, I believe it is. Yeah, a couple of times at least. Now then, to show you, you wonder what's going on. It's making people know I'm telling the truth. I couldn't make it up. And it's very painful. My life has been spent with ransom coming in for me to keep me alive. And then the United States had somebody kidnapped. I just put that up, a girl over in Queen Elizabeth State Park in Uganda, where the Fed said they get involved. Well, they're the ones that's involved with mine. I was brought over here and got the letter from them. So, and then people can say, well, you don't have any proof, da-da-da. And proof's all been up here over the years, and they get a kick out of it, really. They got to be sadists, sick sadists, because she can fly away, or he, whichever one it is, that likes to cause pain and suffering. All right, now then, call people lie and run off, and nobody could touch them. So here's what happened. Excuse me, I had been in twice to urgent care over at, I'm going to go ahead and say it, not the doctor's name, but at Valley View Mall on Saturdays. And I had some kind of infection. And by the way, today, when I just got back from there, and I'll get to that in a minute if I can, it was a woman that came in. I don't remember, she might have said her name. I don't know. I was looking for the other doctor that prescribed this for me. She came in, and I can't think of what I was going to say now. I don't even know what she said now. Anyway, it's all so ridiculous. And then I'm not even going to tell part of it. It just goes into something I've already put up and ties in. I'm not going into it again. Anyway, I know what she said. She looked at it. I think it was her or no, it's her, I believe, not the nurse that came in and took my blood pressure. I think she said something about, well, you were in here one time for an infected toe. Well, if I was, it was a long time ago, and I don't remember it. I really don't. An infected toe. I don't know. I don't remember it if I was, but I've been in there a few times, and that one had to have been so way back when I was on the street walking and no shoes that fit and all that, if that were true. And why would she go back and pick that up? I've been in there 2 times that I know of since Christmas, and it wasn't for a stumped toe or an infected toe. Anyway, at those 2 times, antibiotics were given to me. So now then, oh, I know what it was. I had under my breast was all red and bloody, like all kinds of crap. I didn't know what had happened. I mean, it was horrible. That was the one I went in for. And then this last one I went in for, and the doctor saw me, and because I was hurting. And he asked, did I want him to do a urine analysis? And I said, yes, if you would please. So he did lab work and come out, and he told me that I had, and I'm going to read it here, what this is for if I can find it. It's on the prescription. I've got the bottle. By the way, the doctor, I guess she's a doctor, came in, saw me today. The same doctor didn't see me. She came in and said I can throw them away. And I'm going to put this in. I ended up, she said, well, really, they'd made a mistake. He didn't make a mistake. They might have made all this up and had it, just like my doctor, primary care did. God, how do you tell it? Okay. She says I can throw them away. But listen at the name of it is MACROBID. Now, according to Kroger, where I finally got it filled. Of course, I'm running around from Walmart trying to get a cab and going over to Holland's the next Tuesday because supposedly everybody is out of it. But finally over at Holland's, where I normally go when I can, Kroger, I finally get it filled, and it's for bacterial bladder infection. So now then, the side effects of it, oh my God, let's see. Well, I just say this, one of the side effects is for medication is an antibiotic used to treat bladder infections, acute cystitis. Okay, it goes on to say one of the side effects is you could die. So anyway, damned if you do and damned if you don't. So anyway, I came back and they're doing painting, and I have this autoimmune disorder that some people think's cute. It's deadly at a time if you don't get away from it. Just like eating peanuts if you're allergic to it and they're crammed down your throat every day. You're going to die, and somebody will say, oh, well, you're crazy for eating peanuts that you're allergic to. Well, I'm having to live over and over and over, and I've told you all this, so I'm not going to tell that again. So now then, I had to run. They gave me the runaround. This was Walmart had it on back order. So the next Tuesday, which is what? He gave me 14 pills, so this is on 3/16 this year, 19. So I'll go over there and finally pick him up, get a cab again, and I'm not going to say what the lady said to me when I tried to schedule a ride about me bouncing around, and something about, I mean, it makes me out to be like, and is none of it true, that I'm after antibiotics or something, is what was inferred. Let me say that. I'm sure there'll be something about this, too. So now then, this is what he's given me, and they didn't have it, and they had to call around, and it was back ordered, and then finally I am told that Kroger over there, so now I've got to go and reschedule a cab to go over there and pick it up, and the side effects are, as I told you, a few of them. Came back and they're doing work up on the ceiling that I'm real sick what they're using, and mulching right in front of me at the same time. Now I take this pill, and it says to stop if you have certain effects. I took, out of the 14, I took all but 10, I believe is what I've got in here. Let me show them, for God's sake. Okay, hang on. I know this is not much evidence with all the rest, but here's the pills. I saved them. So now then, I couldn't take them. So the doctor that prescribed them at urgent care had told me, and I liked him, and I needed them. As far as I'm concerned, I need those. I can't take those, so I'm sure he's got something else he could substitute. But anyway, I go to my primary care I've had since 2009. All I've ever taken, except when I had shingles. That's if you have chicken pox when you're small. Had that. I took medicine for that and flu shots. Other than that, and the time my ear ruptured a year and going on 2 year, year and a half now ago. It was in January a year ago. She has not given me antibiotics, I don't think. There may have been a rare once or twice in the since 2009 when I started to her. Okay, now then, let me see if I can get to this. I have had an appointment with her to go to every time that a 6 months checkup. So now then, every time that I have gone to her, it's been blood work, lab blood work. Well, her nurse checks blood pressure and temperature, and she usually checks your heartbeat and I guess your lungs, which my lungs are bad. Let me clue you, from all this mold and mildew. And I'm the one that can't come back somewhere because everybody's got connections up to the former sit on the Intelligence and Judicial Committee, and they don't know all this. Oh yeah, they do. So now then, I go in to see her, and there's no misunderstanding. I had to cancel once because of the weather, and I can go to that, what happened there, because I called and canceled the taxi, limo. And he was nice. He said he didn't even have me down, but he prayed for me. And I'm putting this up here, and I'm not making fun of him. He was nice the few times I had him. He really was. So nothing there. But anyway, I had to cancel it next day because of the weather. It was sleet and snow and da-da-da, about 2 months ago, I guess. Anyway, this is going to go off before we get it up here. I go to my 6 months checkup. No misunderstanding. I did add to it that if she could, I wanted to talk to her about I had bleeding hemorrhoids. So I go in, and this was I saw her when? Friday, March 29th. Just saw her this past 2019. So the doctor that prescribed this medicine right here, I'm talking about for bacterial bladder, told me I should follow up with her. Well, I couldn't take them, and I don't like being accused of that. I'm taking antibiotics and begging for them, so I couldn't take these. So I kept them just like now. I go in and I talk to her nurse, and they're going to call me in a prescription because I'm out of the anti-inflammatory, which I really need for inflammation. And I'm going to pick it up like they have done that in the past because I have to get a cab and pay for it, and part of it anyway. So now then, they didn't call it in, and I sure stood there and made sure they knew and all that. Anyway, I talked to the doctor, and that gets weird because this 6 months checkup, and she doesn't do anything. It's weird. She says she talked to the doctor, and this doctor that prescribed this, and he said I really didn't need them. I said, I pulled the pills out, and I said, you're telling me, here they are, I couldn't take them, that he prescribed a pill for me that the side effects could be death, and I didn't need it? I know I need it. Okay. She said, yeah, and she wouldn't look at it. So then, this